We've got a massive story today that, if proven true, may be one of the largest global frauds in the history of franchising, and you're hearing it first here on Franchise City. Now, I remind viewers that what you're hearing today, these are allegations that have yet to be proven in a court of law, and actually several lawsuits are ongoing. Subscribe to this channel to get updates. Mr. Jeff is a laundry franchise that has sold thousands of locations throughout the world and now has set its sights on the USA. They're just entering the US market. Our guest today is Mr. Marcos Enriquez. He's an entrepreneur in Madrid, Spain, who invested over 100,000 euros in a Mr. Jeff franchise and claims that his Mr. Jeff experience was far from what was promised to him by the company, and he has basically lost his entire investment. Marcos is now suing Mr. Jeff, as are multiple franchisees who feel they have been fraudulently misled. Now, as always, we remind viewers these allegations, they're yet to be proven in a court of law, and we certainly welcome Mr. Jeff to the channel to share their version of the story. Marcos, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I wanted to start right at the beginning. You're out there, you're looking for a franchise. How did you find Mr. Jeff? And what sort of steps took place in order for you to engage with that company?
Mr. Jeff on online advertising, social media, all types of ads when you're looking for a franchise or to start your own business. They will come up as an ad to actually buy a proven concept, a low investment opportunity, no experience necessary, that type of ad that will get you into finding out more. Eventually they also advertise over they have over 2,000 outlets worldwide, over 40 countries. It really makes you confident that it's a solid business, that it's something that and here in Spain actually there is, or I thought there was, more advertising than in the rest of the world, but it's a Spanish company, even though they're active throughout the world, but it's a Spanish company that gives you an extra, or to me it gave me an extra bit. After that, I took a lot of information, trying to find out a lot of information online, and I happened to even meet the CEO of the franchise. So I even had more of the confidence that it was a solid company that will provide for what they claim.
Right, understood. And could you just give us a sort of a broad overview as far as what the franchise does?
The franchise initially, what they advertised was for laundry business, a laundry business that is a new concept in laundry, where they focus on subscriptions that were based on cleaning the laundry, the regular clothes, every week for the people. So that's something that really brought my attention. Also, during the COVID, I thought that having a laundry service that will go and get your laundry at your house, take it, clean it, disinfect it, and bring it back to you without you leaving your house was an extra value for today's business concepts of delivery and how to disinfect, and how to have something that really works for everybody. So that's basically Mr. Jeff is a franchise that they will sell you the concept all around in cleaning, laundry, and also dry cleaning, like your suits, your ties, your rugs, even big items such as your bed overlays. So in general, everything that you can clean. And in my case, at the time that I looked into this advertising, it not only had dry cleaning, laundry, but it also had a self-service feature for the weekends. So the same machines that you were using on a day-to-day to do your business, you could also make some extra cash on the weekends, having the people come in and doing their own laundry service. So it seemed like a very good idea, where all your investment would be fully. You would have subscriptions with people. You would have also business to business model where you would be cleaning, like for example the clinics or any hospital or any hotel, the laundry or their linen, whatever. So in general, a lot of content into this franchise.
Right. So obviously it's compelling. I mean, they have a lot of people who've already signed on. They have a presence around the world. It certainly looks like a viable business model. Looks like something that makes sense. You signed on. Could you let us know how much you invested and what your experience was once you signed up with this franchise? What happened?
Okay. There's two initial big fees. Obviously, the entry fee for the franchise, which is around $10,000 plus taxes. And then there's a fee of getting your business, your machines, everything up to speed. In my case, I rebought a place that was already built. So I bought that for around 80,000 euros in Madrid. And actually that was a franchise of Mr. Jeff that was working prior to me getting there. So it was very, very attractive, because actually the salesperson told me, no, you're starting making money from day zero. I mean, from day one, you're going to be making money, because this place is already has all the clients. It already has everything going. So all you have to do is buy that, pay the franchise fee, and sign a new contract, obviously, because they didn't want me to take over the old franchise business. So
did they tell you why that owner was selling? I'm curious. If it was a moneymaker?
Yeah, this was in the middle of COVID, just getting in there. And this person before COVID had found a job in his industry. He's actually a programmer, and he had found a job. So at this time, he did say, no, the franchise is going to come with some changes. I don't have the time to personally dedicate to this business, because I'm working in another business. And the two people that I have working at the laundromat, they're not ready to come up with the changes, and they're ready to do whatever they're told once. So this is a business for somebody to take over and to be on top of things.
Got it. Thanks for that. So you bought that existing business. You started up. What was your experience?
Well, my experience was, first of all, is everything that I was told was false. I mean, the first thing that they tell you is that the franchise has a brand that everybody recognizes, has an app, an online app that will bring a whole bunch of clients. And even in my place that already had clients, all of a sudden I found that there were no clients. And I started investigating and asking the franchise to tell me what was going on. And really, there was no reply. I mean, all my emails, all my calls, everything was just. Finally, since I had, the resources of looking online and getting to one and another and another and another, they come up and they said, no, there's no problem. This is working fine. I mean, we told you that we were going to make changes, and these are the changes that are coming on. And I said, but there's no business, there's no clients, there's no orders, there's nothing. You haven't trained me. You haven't done nothing at all for all this business. And again, nothing. They won't reply. All of a sudden, they bring young, inexperienced, what they called partner success managers, and all they do is block you and ask you, oh, give me what are your questions? Oh, I'll look into it and get back to you, and that way they'll keep on keeping you in the loop. In the meantime, you get into the business, you start doing your own thing every day, and you're so caught up with your own business and trying to make this work that you kind of forget about, the franchise that's supposed to be helping you and supposed to be giving you all this information. So that's where you're at.
Right. So you felt that you were more or less on your own. There was particular benefit in a franchise in this situation. You might as well just opened up something on your own.
Totally and absolutely. And even the software, because they also claim that they're a technology company, and they have the super app that has all these users, and then they give you and they provide you with some other software. This software that is supposed to allow you to handle the business, I think it's made for something else, because really it works as far as the putting data inside. But to make it scalable and to make it work as far as the business is concerned, it was very sloppy. I mean, for example, during the COVID, we had a thunderstorm, and I had to change some of the orders of the deliveries. It was tremendously difficult. I mean, something that now I do with Google Calendar, and it's with that, I couldn't do it. I couldn't change anything. It was really, really difficult. And when I told them about this, they said, "No, man, this is the way it is." So, okay, we'll take your comments. But they will not change. They will not look into it. They will not do anything at all to help you. And at the end, since you don't have direct access to the client, it's very difficult to handle your business, because you can't do it.
That's interesting. I didn't know that element of the business. So how long did this go on until, as I understand, you decided to launch a lawsuit against the company? How long were you struggling in the business before you decided, hey, this is not going to work?
Well, I did it in last summer, close to a year from now. By Christmas, I knew that this was a hoax. I knew that I've been had. I knew that I couldn't get this running. There were too many. And during that time also, they sent me an email saying that in my contract it states that I was not to do any advertising at all. It stated right that. And they said, okay, where this is stated, that's no longer valid. We have the authority to change the contract. Now all the advertising is on you. You have to advertise everything, because we're not going to, well, they didn't say they weren't going to advertise me, but obviously they weren't doing any advertising. So now I had to do the advertising. When I started to do the advertising I started with Google Maps, just trying to do around my area. Well, the minimum that Google allowed here in Madrid to do advertising was 5 kilometers around my location, my exact location. Well, I very quickly learned that a lot of the clients that were looking at my ads on Google were going to other franchisers throughout Madrid. So, I immediately stopped, because how can I do advertising for others? I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. And when I told others in Madrid, it said, "Oh, can we get together and let's all do advertising, because these people are obviously not going to do it." One of them said, "No, I'm not going to do it." So that defeats all the possibilities of the rest of us getting together to join, because nobody's going to do the advertising for somebody else that is going to sit there and just collect the orders, right? So once I approached them, and I sent an exact email to the CEO of the company, and I told him, "Listen, this is what's going on. In Madrid, where you have 6 franchises all in the north of Madrid, and they're all very close together, you cannot." And he said, "No, this is the way we decided worldwide, and this is how we're going to do it, and this is it."
Right.
So, you find yourself that you can't do the business, you can't advertise, you can't fill the orders. So, after Christmas, I decided that I was, I looked into other people in not only in Madrid but throughout Spain, and I found out that there were 15 of us that were having struggles trying to get the business to work. 15 of us that had recently started and recently finding out that this wasn't going to work. So out of those 15, 11 of us decided to do a lawsuit. We found a lawyer that suggested how to do it. And initially I consulted with a lawyer myself, my personal lawyer, who told us to do a lawsuit with, I don't know about laws and definitely about international law, but here there's two types of lawsuits. One is the civil lawsuit and one is the penal or the
Criminal.
correctional.
Criminal.
Is that the way? Criminal.
Yeah.
And they told me that if I was just one, I have to go through the civil, and that was going to be very expensive for me, and it's going to take a lot of time, and the actual contract, I signed, and it has, I was to lose everything because, I signed all these things allowing them to do all these things. So, that wasn't an option. Finally, when we found another lawyer, he said, no, we have to go through the criminal place because this is a fraud. We believe this is a fraud. We believe that you've been hacked. Everybody, all 11 of you coincide that they told you one thing and then they do another. And all of you coincide that they told you that you had a business and they don't have anything. One of the main things that the lawyer said was in the Spanish law, in order to have a franchise, you have to show that you have some type of know-how. And out of the 2,400 franchise that they advertise that they have, how many are owned by the franchise? 0. They don't have anything to show for. So, the know-how that they could have is practically an app. And if that was the case, you could offer software as a service and sell the app and sell the software, but don't sell that you know about the business when you don't know anything about the business.
Right. Agreed. Yeah, and I mean, as far as seriousness goes, fraud is, it's pretty much up there. It's one thing to have a civil lawsuit if some people are unhappy, but fraud, the fact that they would suggest that might be the case is quite serious. So, what exactly is the lawsuit? What are you suing for, and what's the actual terminology of the suit?
Well, it's again, I'm not a lawyer, and I don't, especially the translation might be, but it's a criminal lawsuit for fraud based on the fact that they lied to us and they provided wrongful information for us to sign. From the start of telling us how big the brand is and how powerful and the business concept and their know-how and all the training that they were going to do and the actual software that they use and everything around the franchise is a hoax, or this is what we claim and this is what the lawsuit is about.
Right. So there were certain inducements, and did that extend beyond the advertisements? I mean, when you were engaged with a salesperson there, did they continue to, basically espouse how great the software was, how happy the system was? Was that again?
Yeah.
That message given?
I think they're very clever, but they helped us do a business plan. And basically, they provide the template with all the numbers, and we just change the numbers. So then they say, "No, you've done the business plan for yourself." But the actual numbers and the actual information, like for example, in my case, I was to start making money from day one. But in most of my partners, they tell them that they'll start making money. That is, they'll start to the break-even point at 3 months. And based on what? I mean, those numbers will never match. In all the cases that I've spoken to, all the franchisors that I've spoken, in none has this ever happened to anybody, except the first 6 franchises that they started in Madrid, which I actually bought one of them. Those had a model that when I looked into it, the thing is that they were doing advertising, which is great. They were getting orders from the advertisers and the advertising that they were doing was for laundry, because right now they claim that they're doing advertising, but if you look in, Jeff, all the advertising that they provide is for selling the franchise itself, not to getting our clients, for selling the franchise itself, which is actually very lame, because they're getting more and more people to come in and no business at all behind it. Then they also come up with this concept that the more franchise that we are, the better the system will work. They even come up now with the concept that they're not satisfied with only the laundromat, Mr. Jeff, the part of laundry, but they've come up with 3 different lines of franchise. Now they're going to be franchising beauty salons. They're going to be franchising relax places where you get massage. They're going to be franchising, I don't know, they have no knowledge of anything, and they're going to be selling all these businesses. I mean, to be able to sell a business, you have to go through a lot of things before you actually considered an expert at that. And so they continue. They obviously found out that they're very profitable selling franchisers, so that's what they're going to be doing, no matter if they do have the content behind it or not.
Obviously, as you were doing your research, did you come across? Yeah, because it sounds like this extends far beyond just Madrid. Did you find other disgruntled owners outside Madrid or even outside the country? Because as I understand it, it notes 2,400 locations in total on their website. So did you come across other people who weren't happy, or any other statistics that would validate what you're saying across the system?
The first note is it's very hard for any of us to talk. Right now, I know I'm incriminating myself, and they're going to be trying to sue me for saying things that are not true. And the first thing that you think when you've been had is that it's on me. It's my fault. I should have known. I should have known better. Why did I do this? I should have listened to my wife. I should have done this. And you don't want to talk. You don't want to let your family and friends know that you've been had. So that's the first thing. You don't talk, and that's when you start asking other people if they're doing okay, if they have a problem. It's the same thing with them. You notice that they don't want to talk. They don't want to realize or admit that this is not working for them. The second thing is, most of them, when they start realizing that this is not going to work, you're still using the brand. So if you start talking bad about the brand, you're actually, you're talking bad about yourself. You're working against your own brand, and it's like you're shooting your foot because this is not working. Also, the liability, the thing that I talked, anything that I said, because of the contract that I signed, it's wrong. I mean, they could sue me for anything that I can even mention the word Mr. Jeff. So that's also a very difficult. So when you start digging around in the different countries, it's very difficult to get people to talk to you. Also, there's a language barrier. So I started in Latin America, and I found people in Colombia. Colombia, curious enough, were the first ones to have a lawsuit going, and all of a sudden that disappeared. And I talked to everybody around. Nobody knows anything. The few franchisers that I left in Colombia that I talked to, they're like, I just want this to finish. I want them to forget about it. I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to talk to anybody, whatever. Curious enough, after that, Mexico, there is a lawsuit there. There's over 50 franchises suing, and that's very relevant. And again, because most of them disappear before they even want to place a lawsuit, and most of them don't want to spend any more money or invest more money on something that they already lost. Then we also have in Chile. In Chile, there is also people that want to sue, but apparently the company that signed off is a Spanish company, so the Chileans will have to go to Spain to do the lawsuit. So it's very difficult and even more confusing for them. Also, Bolivia, there is a lawsuit going on with 6 of the franchise there. Costa Rica, Argentina, Uruguay, Peru, most of Latin America, they're coming out slowly. I don't know exactly what is the situation in each one of the countries, because it's very difficult for people to talk. But recently, even Marruecos, they came up and once I started publishing some stuff online, I am getting more and more emails of people that you say, yeah, I've noticed that too. This is happening to me too, but I thought that was the way this goes. So slowly we're getting organized, and there's a lot of people that are very mad and very disappointed about what's going on.
Interesting. Best case scenario, what would you like to come out of the lawsuit? How would you like to see it resolved?
Well, that's very difficult. I started with a lawsuit trying to get my business going back on. Right now, I don't believe I can ever get the franchise to work. So I'm actually doing some other businesses on my own, and that part is no longer my objective, because I don't trust the brand. I don't trust the concept. I don't trust anything about it. So getting my business back on is not an option anymore. Trying to get some of my money back, I have the feeling, even though they've been raising capital they published over 20 million in capital. They're going now into the United States. They're going everywhere in the world. So it seems like they're a solid company, but I don't think so. I think by the time the lawsuit comes out, they'll say they're bankrupt or whatever, and I won't get anything out of there. But what I really want is for them to stop doing this to other people like myself.
Right. Yeah, that's a real shame. I mean, it hurts to lose any money, but that amount of money is not fun. And you're right, all of the feelings that you get, you don't want to talk about it, you shouldn't talk about it. It's actually harming you in a way because you own that business. It makes it very difficult. So yeah, we definitely appreciate you sharing that story, and hopefully some people will hear it and weigh their options and maybe look at things a little bit more critically before jumping in. Anything you wanted to add before we wrap up?
Just a couple of numbers. If they actually did sell 2,400 franchises at $10,000 a pop, that's over $24 million that they've put in their pockets. Then they raised another 30 million. Then they've been partnering with other companies that are providing money for different things. They just come up with a new office that is tremendous. I mean, they show it and whoever's put up. I put up a small business and that cost me a lot of money to put up. They put up a whole warehouse that they personalized for their business, and all this money. I've added over 100 million in the past 2 or 3 years that they've playing with, that the money that they have or they're messing with. How come at this point they're coming up with an edit? It's called they're laying off a whole bunch of people, and they're claiming that their losses are bigger than from the past. They're losing money, and now they're laying off a whole bunch of people from their franchise. Why all these things don't match? I mean, they don't add up. The numbers, the amounts, everything that they come up with. So this is what I'm trying to say is, the people that want to invest in a business, look into it, read on, and don't believe like I did that just because there is a lawsuit somewhere, it doesn't mean anything. It means a lot, and you have to look into further. And it's very difficult for a small entrepreneur to get the money to prepare a lawsuit, and it's very difficult for us to get together. So once we're organized and there's a lawsuit in Spain, in Mexico, in Bolivia, etc., please try to look into it and see what's going on before investing in a business like this.
Perfect. Thanks for that. And yeah, don't let emotions guide you. And, they get very high. You see these great businesses, you start to visualize how great it would be to have that business. So the critical side of the brain sometimes doesn't want to engage. So great advice. Thanks so much. And appreciate you being on today. Thanks so much. And all the best on your lawsuit.
Thank you.
You are listening to Franchise City, interviews with entrepreneurs.